Magnus Carlson is one of the best players in the world, being the world champion for over 10 years, while achieving a peak rating of 2,882. Magnus has dominated the competition, but what were the most important games in Magnus Carlson's career? Starting with this game against Hikaru Nakamura, an extremely strong super grandmaster who has beaten nearly everyone. But this didn't scare Magnus, and with both players having 3 minutes on the clock, Magnus quickly started the game playing knight to f3, which Nakamura responded to with d5. And after the first few developing moves, the position quickly turns into the Roy Lopez opening, which Magnus is more than familiar with. After trading pawns, Magnus instantly develops his rook, knowing exactly what to do. Nakamura plays knight to c6, making Magnus consider options for a few seconds before bringing his own knight out. After a few more moves being played, Magnus attacks Nakamura's pawn. Hikaru takes the pawn. Magnus captures with his pawn, making Nakamura think for a very long time before playing his knight to f5. Magnus plays bishop to g5, attacking Nakamura's queen. Hikaru defends with the pawn. Magnus moves his bishop back to a safe square, and while the best move for Nakamura here is to play pawn to h5, he played bishop to e6, a mistake. This is the beginning of the end for Nakamura. Magnus plays pawn to b5 and starts launching a huge attack quickly. Hikaru retreats his knight, and Magnus kicks the knight on f5 with g4, making Hikaru think for a very long time before playing his knight to d4. A big mistake. Magnus takes the knight on d4, and queen takes d4. Magnus takes the pawn on b7, creating a passer. Bishop takes g4, a good move by Hikaru. Bishop f3. Both trades off the bishops. Nakamura played rook c3, another mistake. Best move here was to play pawn f5, which opens up the bishop, and the king can slide away at later point. Magnus plays pawn to b6, an absolute bone crusher, and Nakamura misses it again and played c6. Nakamura knows he's in trouble now, spending more time thinking. The two exchange a few more moves before Magnus gave up the bishop on c5 and moved his pawn up. Nakamura plays g5, a big blunder. After pawn to b8, Magnus promotes his pawn to a queen and completely destroying Nakamura's chances at beating Magnus. And Nakamura resigns, with Nakamura knowing Magnus had completely outplayed him in a matter of seconds.